Pass my test, baby. Let's go. Real estate agent coming soon. Woo! Yo, so we're meeting with Henry, another business owner, talk some shop and see what we can do together. It'll be cool. How's the business going?
It's going well. It's going really well. We just signed up a new client. So
really?
I don't know if I told you what I do a couple different things.
Okay.
So one of them is real estate management, and then the other is consulting.
Okay.
So yeah, real estate management's blown up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For Airbnbs, right?
Airbnb, yeah, property management.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Give us a lowdown on the company.
Sure. So the company is called Eden Stay Homes. Started a couple years ago. There was a law passed that made Airbnb legal all over Arizona, so we started it right then. My business partner's been in real estate for the past 5 years, doing fixing and flipping, and we saw this really big opportunity where real estate investors knew a lot about long-term standard rentals. They didn't know anything about Airbnb, and yet that's where all the returns are. So my background, I have a business background, management background, so we're like, we can really provide some good returns for these guys. So we've been going hard at it and working on our process. We've got a top property in the Gilbert area. It's earning a bunch. Our owner's happy, and so we perfected that process of getting a property to the top. And then now we're focusing on expanding, getting more people into the fold, and yeah, helping more people make money on Airbnb.
What's the return rate on Airbnbs compared to like normal leasing?
On average, it's about for a decent property, it's about 2.5 times as much, 2.5x. So if you're renting out a property for $1,000, you could probably make per month. You could probably make $2,500 a month on Airbnb.
Damn.
So top property in Flagstaff right now is making $250,000 a year. And every zip code has like a top property that's just killing it. Like most of them are into the 6 figures.
Really? Yeah. Does it determine like how big the real estate is, and or just like what's like the parameters of how do you make the most money? Is it getting up to the top? Is it getting the most views, and then is it having the biggest property, or just shoving the most amount of people in there? Like what's the go-to?
Yeah, so there's a couple different factors. There's this old sales saying that you're either selling a solution to a problem or happiness. And so oftentimes for real estate rentals, if you're looking for a place to stay, that's just a solution to a problem. People that are coming to a place for vacation, they're buying happiness. So it's really all the amenities and stuff that you put into it. It's location, so downtown Phoenix is really nice near the convention center. People come to town for that, big events. How you decorate it and design it is really big. Larger properties tend to do better. So like 5 bedroom, 6 bedroom. But there are properties that are 3 bedroom, 4 bedrooms that are making over 100K per year.
Really?
So it's really about the stuff you have in there and the experience you create. Yeah. So our next goal that we're trying to hit by the end of the year is to manage 20 properties here in the Phoenix area. We've already got a property in Colorado, and we're working on one in Hawaii. So we are going around the country, but really we want to focus here mainly, build that up, and help people build wealth through real estate and this new opportunity.
Oh man.
Yeah. Create something that this place is eBay. Yeah.
We're decentralizing the whole marketplace. So in a sense, we're taking that every seller can become a marketplace in its own, become its own eBay or its own store, which nothing out there right now is like that.
Right.
So we're completely just decentralizing the whole marketplace and just taking commission on the top, which is fantastic.
I know that. So what does that look like exactly? I know Amazon has its marketplace, but then each seller has their own store and different things like that. So is it
true?
Yeah, like.
So you're also under Amazon's technically warehouse too. So they can ban you, they can cut you off. Amazon's notorious for taking your products and then revamping them to Amazon Prime products or Amazon products, right? So that's the big thing that everybody's trying to get away from. So it's pretty much taking the power out of their hands. Amazon will always be a powerhouse, but I think we can beat eBay pretty easily. Not easily, but in a sense, they've just released 300 people last week, and they released a couple hundred before that. So they're getting destroyed by other companies. Poshmark, Letgo, all those companies are coming in the space. So it's taking pretty much every category and becoming a Poshmark. Because Poshmark just says clothing. It'd be, let's say you want to sell, Henry wants to sell ski equipment, right? You could be only a marketplace for ski equipment, and you can sell new stuff and used stuff and everything in between. That's the goal.
But Airbnb is relatively new. You're doing something different because you're designing this experience for people. So you have to furnish the property. That's something you never do if you have long-term tenants, right? So we have an interior designer that's on our team that actually comes in and says, okay, for the low-level design, just basic, here's what the returns would probably be, mid-level, high-level, here's what it's going to take to beat the market competition. So we do that process. We actually help to identify homes that would be good fits. So we know the market, and we have analytics and data on all the places in Phoenix. So we walk them through that whole process basically. If someone doesn't know anything about the market, they just want to get returns, we do all that, and then we handle bill pay, maintenance, all that stuff, so they just get a check at the end of the month. And so we're trying to build passive income for our investors through Airbnb.
And what's the normal build-out cost for the new spaces or the space you have?
So it depends on the spaces. Some of the spaces we get, they've been lived in before, so it's a family moving out. One guy we have is a lawyer, so all this stuff was in there. It doesn't take much to overhaul the design for that, maybe $5,000. If you're buying a place from scratch, let's say you're buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and you're trying to get it designed, you're looking at maybe $15K to design it right.
What kind of furniture do you use? Do you go to like IKEA, like that kind of stuff, like basic stuff, or you try to go like higher end, or what's that range?
So it partly depends on budget, but ideally what we recommend is we start with the designer. Our designer is great. We have a couple actually, but our main one, she can go to places and get really good deals and stuff. She might find like this unique table at at some like swap meet or something that works. We tend to use purple beds; those are great.
Really?
Purple's great. Yeah. Our selling point is really look at both options. Which one is better for your situation right now? And so we've turned down properties where they're really excited about Airbnb, but it's not the right fit for their property. They could make more if they do a traditional rental. So we've really just been focusing on that aspect of the business. It's what is the wisest investment and use of this property for you? We'll give you the data, you make the decision, but if you do make that decision, the thing you wanted with a long-term traditional rental is you wanted passive income. You didn't want to be doing any extra work. You wanted to get your check at the end of the month. We do the same thing for Airbnb. So my background is really creative. I was a professional swing dancer.
That's pretty cool.
So traveled, competed around the country, won the national title in 2013.
So can you teach Henry how to swing dance?
Henry can teach Henry how to swing dance. Yeah.
So how do you get paid to as a professional swing dancer?
Oh, it's so easy. Private lessons. I did workshops at ASU and at NAU, and then there's always some event going on, and you can go out there and do some teaching.
What you up to today, Henry?
Today, setting up a property, doing some more biz dev. I got a couple more meetings with potential real estate investors, and just driving all around the valley, doing that. Might do some dancing tonight.
You hit on top of that too. You said this classroom is set for 1920. We really have not moved. I've been thinking this all the time. We have not moved from a single person, an older person, right? In a sense, older than the people that he's teaching, or they are he, she, whatever are teaching, right? And then kids that are based in the same age group. Not EQ, not IQ, not specialities, what they're good at. It's just age.
Right. Just so crazy because when you get into the adult world, it's never age. You can be competing against. You come out at 18. You're competing against someone that's 36 or 40. So it has nothing to do with age. It's crazy. Yeah. So education so ripe for reform, but I don't think it's going to come to the school system. I think it's going to come through entrepreneurs.
I agree.
I think it's going to come from people creating new institutions and new ways of doing it, and actually having results, right? Because that's what entrepreneurship is about. Like you're not some professor in a classroom saying, "Hey, you should do this business model," and you've never run a business. You're like, no, I made this amount of money. Here's how I did it. Here's the principles. So you're speaking from experience. It's practical. It's like almost like apprenticeship, like you're teaching someone. And that's what education used to be, and that's what it needs to be again. Like,
Dude, hit it right in the head. I literally went to school for entrepreneurship, right?
Okay, yeah.
The teachers that were teaching never were entrepreneurs.
Never even started a business, right?
Like, we had the one, he created creativity and innovation. He worked for that soap company on Scottsdale Road in 101.
Okay.
And all he did was create like the packaging for, help create. He had a team, help create the packaging for a soap product.
Okay.
That was his claim to fame. But I'm like, yo, have you ever ran a business? Like, come on, man, come on.
And that's why I love Gary Vee and his approach. He's like, selling is the most important thing, right? He's like, do the flip challenge because then you learn about markets, then you learn about, like, start small, scale up. It's the way we learn anything. You learn math that way. You learn to add before you, and subtract before you learn to multiply and divide, right? So it's the same thing. Like, you can't just have someone coming in and saying, yeah, this is what entrepreneurship is about. And they haven't done anything. It's like, you're teaching theory with no basis, and it's I could talk all day about the problem. So,
well, we found the passion.
I know, man. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. It's like, what can we do now to fix that, in a sense, right?
Well, I think you've got it. The number one thing is be successful. And then people will like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about, and then you can do something about it. And that's the same path that I'm on. Is that I don't want to be the hypocrite that's teaching people about entrepreneurship when I haven't been able to do it. True. So the first thing is let me get to the point of being successful at it, and then I have a platform to say I'm teaching what works. Yep. You can go and spend 4 years listening to a PhD on entrepreneurship that's never done it, or you can talk to me.
Exactly.
I feel like there's no other way.
Oh, I agree. 100%, man. 100%. No.
You gotta live it.
If you don't live it, then why even worry about it, you know?
Yeah.
That PhD guy can't help you.
Right.
But yo, pleasure meeting you,
Yeah,
man.
likewise.
All right, Henry, it's great to meet
Henry,
you.
it's great to meet you as well.
I was trying to film that here. Let me give it a proper one.
There we go.
There. A great breakfast.com.
Easy.